Alright, I'm just gonna say it. I hate the Hyperdimension Neptunia series. I do not mean that in a soft, fake, polite internet way where people say that don't really vibe with it. No, I mean I genuinely think the series is garbage. I think it's embarrassing, creatively lazy, creepy in ways people downplay way too much, and honestly, one of the most shamelessly pandering franchises I've ever seen people defend. And what annoys me the most is that every time you criticize it, somebody immediately jumps in with the same excuse.
Bro, it's not that serious.
It's just a parody.
It's self-aware. It's supposed to be dumb.
Yeah, I know. That's not a defense, that's the problem. Being self-aware does not automatically make something good. Making a bad joke on purpose is still making a bad joke. Writing something shallow and annoying and then winking at the audience does not suddenly make it clever. It just means that the writers know exactly what they were doing, and that almost makes it worse. Because Neptunia has a premise that actually could have been interesting, a world based on gaming consoles, gaming companies, and the culture around them, that could have been funny. That could have been smart. That could have had actual satire in it. You could have done something with fanboyism, nostalgia, and the stupidity of console wars, corporate nonsense, all of that. But instead, what does it do? It takes that idea and reduces it to the most shallow, low-effort version possible. It's just references, constant, haha, I get it moments, constant self-congratulating meta humor that makes naming a thing after some game interesting concept is the same thing as writing an actual joke. And it's not. That's one of the biggest things I can't stand about this series. It confuses references with wit. It confuses self-awareness with intelligence. It confuses random anime energy with actual personality. And the characters... I'm sorry, but I do not buy the hype. People act like these characters are lovable and memorable, but most of them just feel like exaggerated anime tropes assembled in a lab to be as marketable as possible. They don't feel like people. They feel like products. They feel like they were designed backwards from kind of fan reaction the creators wanted. Like, okay, let's make this one childish and bratty. Let's make this one shy. Let's make this one smug. Let's make this one flirty. Let's make this one cute and easily memeable. No! There, done. Character writing complete. That's what it feels like. And I know somebody's gonna say,
well, that's the point. It's supposed to be silly.
Again, that does not fix anything. You can be silly and still be well written. You can be ridiculous and still have charm. You can be dumb and still be funny. Neptunia to me is not that. It feels cheap. It feels assembled. It feels like a franchise that exists mainly to pander to a very specific audience and then hide behind irony whenever somebody calls it out. And that leads into the part where I generally find disgusting. Because the series has a super bright, sugary, colorful, cutesy aesthetic that makes it harmless on the surface, it looks playful, it looks bubbly, it looks like this goofy, unserious anime fantasy thing. But underneath that, so much of its appeal is built on fan service and fetish-sized presentation. That's what makes it deadass gross to me. The designs, the framing, the tone, the weird mix of this childish energy with sexualized aesthetics. It gives off this constant vibe of trying to package objectification? I'm saying, am I saying that right? Objectification as humor and charm. And people will brush it off because it's just anime or just fan service, but I really hate how normalized that excuse has become. Like, what the fuck? Come on now. It means the writers don't trust the materials to stand on its own. It means that they need constant visual bait, constant suggestive nonsense, constant pandering, because the world, the story, they're not confident the world, the story, or characters are actually strong enough without it. That's not cute. That's insecure. And when a series leans on that over and over and over, it starts to feel like less like a story and more like a product, engineered to keep a certain type of viewer constantly fed. That's why I don't just think it's bad. I think it's rotten. Deadass rotten. I also think it's inappropriate for children. Visually, this series absolutely looks like a younger audiences could stumble into. Bright colors, cute girls, silly fantasy setting, goofy humor, game references. See why somebody might assume it's harmless, but that's exactly why I don't like it. Because I don't think media that constantly mixes cute, youthful presentation with sexualized undertones, it should be casually treated like harmless entertainment for kids. It needs to be exposed to media that packages objectification in its glossy, playful, candy color format and acts like that's normal. And I know some people are going to hear that and act like I'm overreacting, but no, I'm not. You can call it fiction, you can call it anime logic, you can call it not a big deal, but at the end of the day, I think this series pushes a style of content that's shallow, creepy, and way too comfortable turning suggested material into a joke. That's one of the reasons I despise it so much. Not just because it's annoying, not just because it's badly written, but because it feels slimy. It feels like it wants to have it both ways. It wants to look cute and harmless while constantly indulging in trashy pandering nonsense, and then it wants immunity from criticism because it's in on the joke. I hate that. The wasted potential makes it even worse, I said. Because I respect this series, if they actually commit to something, if it wanted to be real satire, cool. If it wanted to be a heartfelt comedy, cool. If it wants to be an absurd fantasy story with actual writing behind it, cool. But it doesn't commit. It just floats in this lazy middle ground where everything is irony poison, everything is shallow, and everything just feels like it exists to tell a vibe instead of tell a story. So when people ask why I hate Hyperdimension Neptunia, that's why. I hate it because it feels creatively bankrupt. I hate it because it hides laziness behind self-awareness. I hate it because its characters feel manufactured instead of human. I hate it because the fan service feels shameless and gross. And I hate it because it wraps all of that in this bright, playful look that makes people underestimate how creepy and trashy it really is. To me, it's not some misunderstood gem. It's not secretly brilliant. It's not deeper than people think. It's just a shallow, pandering, obnoxious mess. And I'm never going to pretend otherwise. I hope you enjoyed my little rant video about the DOGSHIT Neptunia series. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and yeah. I will see y'all later.